Yesterday, we put out a video regarding New Mexico Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham's order to ban open and concealed carry of firearms in her state for a period of 30 days on the basis of a public health emergency order. The order is so over the top, it's drawn criticism from all sides. Basically, what it does, it prevents individuals who already have a permit to conceal carry. They're not even allowed to exercise their right to conceal carry their firearms if they wish, even with a permit. That is how far this ban goes. Apparently, it's gotten so egregious that law enforcement officials in the state of Enchantment aren't even willing to enforce her order. What am I talking about? Hang on, folks. We're going to get into all this in just 1 second. My name is Brian Trippett. I am your front porch conservative. Step on up to my electronic front porch and let's talk. Over the weekend, New Mexico Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham issued an executive order, or public health emergency order is probably the better way to say it, that banned open and concealed carry of firearms in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and Pinello County for a period of 30 days. She did so on the basis that it was a public health emergency. This is her response to what she considers to be excessive gun violence. Okay, I'm not going to go back and play the clips. They were so egregious and so over the top. If ever you want to see a blatant, in your face display of, I am the government and I have the rights and the power and I'll dispense them to you peasants as I see fit, go back and watch the clips for yourself. But that executive order, the public health order, I should say again, has stirred so much controversy that not only are Republicans in her state upset with it, Democrats from outside of New Mexico and gun rights activists have weighed in on this. Now it's reached the point that law enforcement officials in her own state won't even enforce this order. Let's take a look at a couple of articles from Breitbart, and we begin. New Mexico Sheriff, I'd prefer strengthening lax penalties for juvenile gun crime over wasting time with an illegal ban order. Okay, that's pretty heavy, but that's not really the one headline I really want to lead with. Check this out. New Mexico Sheriff, Governor Grisham's concealed carry ban is unconstitutional, will not be enforced. Article written by the always inestimable A.W.R. Hawkins. Bernalillo County Sheriff John Allen clarified Monday he will not enforce New Mexico Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham's unconstitutional ban on concealed carry. The Associated Press quoted Allen saying, it's unconstitutional, so there's no way we can enforce that order. He went on to express his opinion that the order does not curb gun violence. Earlier on Monday, Breitbart reported KOB4 footage which captured Grisham telling a reporter that the ban on concealed carry would not impact criminals. In the footage, a reporter can be heard talking to Grisham asking, do you think the criminals are going to hear this message and not carry a gun in Albuquerque on the streets for 30 days? Grisham responded, no. New Mexico State Rep John Block, Republican, told the AP, my constituents have reached out to me in droves, emailing and texting me that this is insane, this is horrifying, this is unconstitutional. Block indicated there's an article of impeachment against Grisham being drafted currently. Going back to that first article from Breitbart, follow up to that statement, article written by Ian Hatchett. On Monday's broadcast of CNN The Source, Bernalillo County, New Mexico Sheriff John Allen, Democrat, criticized New Mexico Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham's order of a public health emergency to ban carrying firearms in public and stated New Mexico law does not have, quote, strict enough enforcement penalties for juveniles with firearms, even though juvenile gun crime is increasing. Allen reiterated his vow not to enforce the order because it's not unconstitutional because it's not constitutional, and it would tie up law enforcement in litigation at a time when they have violent crime issues to deal with. Allen specifically said that the rise of juvenile firearm crime is one issue he wants to focus on. He added, quote, "She made it very clear during her press conference that she knows that law enforcement leaders would not support her necessarily, and this decision was solely on her. I wanted to inform and make sure that my constituents, not just in Bernalillo County, but the state of New Mexico, we're trying as hard as we can to make a dent in gun violence. We're already behind the power curve. Our laws are already behind. We don't have strict enough penalties for juveniles with firearms or even intervention programs. We're behind. So that's something I want to focus on." End of quote. Okay, let's get into this. Look, if you'd heard about this story, if not from me, from other people around social media, you'll know what most of us think of this. This is one of the most egregious, unconstitutional attempts at stripping rights and power away from the average citizen. This order is so over the top, more than likely it will be defeated in court. It shouldn't even get to a full appellate court in federal judiciary before it's struck down. But that's not the point. She did something that not only is taking away rights from her constituents, she did something that puts it on full display for everybody. It doesn't matter which side of the gun issue you're on. She said that no right is absolute. Now, if you don't believe me, go back and look at the quote. She's saying that a government official has the right to take away yours and mine's God-given guaranteed rights if they deem a situation to be an emergency. I'm sorry, that is the road to tyranny. That is the road to an enslaved people. And I think the people of New Mexico, wherever they are on the gun issue, ought to stand up and absolutely howl this thing down. And frankly, I don't know what the end result of an impeachment effort is going to be, but it definitely ought to be discussed in the New Mexico legislature. But let's get back to the question of law enforcement. I watched that video conference that they had on Friday, and the more I kept looking at the law enforcement officers, the more I was coming to the conclusion these guys are sitting there with this uncomfortable look on their face like, I really don't want to be here, but she's the governor and I kind of have to be. Look, they knew this wasn't going to work. And the fact that a fellow Democrat is standing up to his Democrat governor and saying, look, lady, you can order this all you want to, but I'm not going to enforce it, kind of tells you where they are. Now, maybe he's doing it for political reasons, whatever. I'll let you decide, and I'll let him speak to his own motives. But it's becoming painfully obvious they're not going to enforce this. As a matter of fact, the local DA out in Albuquerque said, I'm not bringing up a charge on this. That's been reported elsewhere. Now, as far as an impeachment effort in the New Mexico legislature goes, well, I don't know. I think the numbers are kind of stacked against this Republican state legislator. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Take a look at this. This is from Wikipedia. The current makeup of the New Mexico legislature goes something like this. There are 112 seats in the Senate, 112 total legislators. There are 42 Senate seats. Currently, the Democrats control the upper chamber by 27-15. In the House, there are 70 seats. Democrats have a majority of 45-25. Now, in an election, it wouldn't take much to flip either one of those houses. I'll get back to that point in a moment. But I show you this to say that the following. This Republican state legislator may be bringing up an article of impeachment over this whole thing, and frankly, I think he should. Regardless of whether it be the gun issue or anything else, no elected leader has the right to suspend constitutionally enshrined and guaranteed liberties of citizens, regardless of whether they be in New Mexico or whether they be in the United States. Now, as to the practical effect of this, I think given the current legislature, the way it's structured right now, with the Democrats being in control of both houses, they might go through the motions of an impeachment process, but I don't think she's going to be impeached from office. Politically, however, I think the Democrats in New Mexico have a very serious problem on their hands. This governor went way over the line. And even people who are for gun control in the state of New Mexico realize, look, we got to look like we're doing something here, or if we don't come the next election, we're in big trouble. And that may be the only reason why they're willing to go through the process of impeachment in the New Mexico legislature. Now, how it all shakes out, who knows? But for right now, that's where everything stands in New Mexico. So, as we start to wrap up this video, please do me some favors as always. Number 1, if you're not a subscriber to the channel, please do so. Number 2, please leave a comment below. I would really appreciate it. Number 3, share the video around. Number 4, give it a thumbs up. And number 5, if there are other ways you can think to help, I'll always take them. My name is Brian Trippett. I am your Front Porch Conservative, and I'll see you next time.